Good evening. Welcome to the Hangout in the Battle Pirates Crib with your Battle Pirates Crib crew. I'm here tonight with a great group of men. Hefe.
Hello, sir. Hello, everybody.
And Daniel.
Hi.
And I am the BP professor. And I apologize, but I'm going to have kind of split attention for at least part of this show. So we're going to talk about, what do we got? We got a TLC for Liberators. We got some PvP announcement and changes. And we got some hints on raid prizes.
Correct.
So Hefe's going to run the slides.
Alrighty. I will start that up.
I'm attempting.
I'm going to put myself on present, and hopefully everybody can see it out there. Let's go. I got a screwed up screen. 1 second. All right, we'll start with bug fixes. Made it so you can no longer rim the 113. I think the points are down to, because previously with the 113 target, you could get 90 million from basically rimming the outside. And that's been dropped down to somewhere in the 30s, 27, 30 area.
Haven't done that.
I know it's significant. And you didn't die on the inside at this point. So, we still remember last week.
I do remember.
So, yeah, it's not. Yes. So, yeah, it's going to be much more difficult for people that were getting the 90 million from just hitting the outside with slower fleets. There might be some workarounds with Zeloses and Citadels that people may find useful. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more. The 102 has gone away and has been replaced with the 103, which we'll have a picture of later. And they reduced the capacity of the 2-day ship build tokens from 3 to 2. And they may change that again, but they're not going to take away the ones that you already have. So, oh well.
Yeah, just before the raid, they pulled that. That's really great, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Additionally, they're going to make some PvP changes. Well, they're going to add things to and make changes to combat the gluttony and base hitting. We'll go through the list of things in a second, but it's basically, it's going to be tricky for other corrosive damage type ships, the way they're going to do things. But the reason they introduced the muddle missile is to make the gluttony not only the support backline healer, but also to make it a viable base hitting, base prep, whatever type of haul. So let's get to the changes. Currently, the chromium, concussive, and explosive overlays only affected walls. They're going to be changing that to also affect buildings of, I guess, of all types, towers, support buildings, whatnot, which should help with some of these splash out issues that we've been seeing with the muddle missile. Additionally, they're going to increase the sonar range of the UT-T transformer, which is currently at 100. They're going to have to, we were talking about this a little bit in the pre-show. They're going to need to extend that sonar significantly in order to make it useful in combating the
Yeah,
mud glut.
like 300
Yeah.
or more.
We,
Well, really more, right? If you can get 75 cloak, it's really 400 or more.
yeah, it has. Oh, I forget. It has the same footprint, sonar footprint as a predator, 5 or 30. So, yeah, I haven't worked the math out on how far they need to exchange it to prevent, prevent a mud glut from just taking out the turret with the transformer. Um, and we will allow dispersion to also provide splash damage reductions for buildings. So this will be helpful with both your the splash dispersion that you can put on it's special, you can put on as a transformer as far as the stuff in your I have one in my dock, one in my warehouse. But I assume also the splash dispersion associated with like the Harlock's Alpha Behemoth would also play in here. I'm not certain though.
Oh, you think maybe the ship's aura will extend to buildings?
That's what I'm saying. I I'm more certain of the ones that are turret based or building based, but I don't know if
Yeah.
the splash dispersion from ships would also carry over to the buildings. And the other thing they're providing us is the justice, which we have a few details on later that we'll get to. Um, and we're assuming that they're going to, there's a question in chat, when they're going to make this change. Our assumption would be the next update, because Thursday there's going to be a open preview server to sort of test this idea out. So I guess if everything goes well, we will see it in the following update. Here we go. Okay, at from 11:30 to 1 kickside time, there is going to be a open preview where we're going to see the Justice, the augmented ballistic armament, Pride. So this will be an interesting. This will be interesting to see how the Visago Pride does put in to stop the muddle gut. And the Visago's Pride is also a corrosive-based ship, so should be interesting. So if you have the time, try and jump on and see what it looks like. Or there's a lot of people that are running live streams of it to, if you do, to see what's going on. No problem.
Yeah, live previews are fun because yeah, you get a lot of coins to play with. You can just play and hit stuff.
Yeah. This is basically a base hitting preview, but with the new changes that we just talked about. So yeah, it should be fun, and it'll give you an idea of in the next update. Oops. Now back to our continuing saga of the first mission prizes going away. Yep. The 102 is now the new 103. So everybody that's probably caught up in the game has had all their targets changed. The people that would hit the 109 or the 102. And from now on, we may drop this saga because I don't know that many people that are hitting the 40 to 87s.
Yeah. At some point, you just got to stop crying.
Yeah. So let's move on. This is the 113 we talked about last week. I just left it in here. And let's go on to the 103. The 103, you spawn you spawn right here, at the same spot, more 7 o'clock ish.
Oh, so
And
you,
again, go ahead.
yeah. So we saw this target in called Arms.
Okay.
And yeah, so I guess you still have to run this gauntlet of deadly turrets.
Yeah.
So, the thing that I was wondering about this target was whether it would be viable with icebreakers. And it looks like another monolith optimized target. It doesn't, it's got the same kind of mechanics as the 109.
Yeah, assuming that we're seeing the same weapon strengths, assuming that these are the same weapons that we saw in the 113, or if some of the damage is on damage type's been toned down a bit. There's much less to hit. Because besides the shrouded stuff at the beginning, there's only 3 turret clusters.
4.
Or 4. 4 turret clusters. So it seems to have less armament than the other one does.
Hmm.
I haven't bothered to hit this one yet. And Catherine says, well, Mike and Catherine both got 4 hours of damage with their icebreakers. And the other issue I noticed is, and Catherine also brings it up in chat, I had to hunt and search to find 113s. What I mostly found was 103s around me.
I wonder if they're doing that spawn thing where, it's random and people are just choosing to hit the 113s.
It was, I'm not sure what's going on, because I think the 113 I hit only gave out 110. But I think they're supposed to start putting out 145. And I have seen some screenshots of people getting 145 for the 113s.
Yeah, I saw some of that today as well.
I was only getting I must have been hitting old ones. Because I was only getting the standard amount that we were getting previously. Have you hit one, Daniel?
Yeah, I hit one of the 103.
Yeah.
I took about the same amount of damage as I did the 113. So about an hour and a half damage with my icebreaker, fully kitted with the new V rockets and everything.
Okay, and Avasagos?
Yeah, and a Visago.
Yeah.
So it's not really a viable target for icebreakers. If you might as well just for the points to damage, you might as well just hit a 113.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I mean, the point was a blitz target, right? They called it a blitz target.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the blitz target means you can pay for it. I don't know.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay. Alrighty. And we have seen a return of Homeland, which is, basically a repeat. I actually used this slide from last time because I double checked and it was the same stuff. And we'll go through some of the prizes. The Liberator's nice to have. It was the killer on the water for a month or so.
Yeah, and the thing that you might, even if you have Liberators, you got this assault raid cycle coming up. You might want those tokens for refits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because normally with a new change of, we're changing over to assault, so we expect to see in some order or fashion, we'd expect to see a new haul, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then a new special, and then a new weapon, which is normally in assault is a missile type.
Yep.
So it would be it would behoove you to even if you got all your Liberators built, is to grab hold of those tokens and maybe potentially later improve them, or improve them again and again. Since recently we've been seeing that we will get the initial weapon in the raid, and then at some point later we'll get an improved weapon. So, you might want to wait unless you're
Yeah.
big on using your Liberator all the time. I might wait a little bit into the raid cycle in order to use those, and see if you had an even more advantageous weapon for your Liberator might come out.
Yep.
But it's nice because it used to be able to snipe everything, but there's been a few things that have been tossed in there. The throwers on the Harlex Alpha Behemoth and certain things have put out there to counter it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the muddle gluttons are all the rage right now, and base hitting clearly. But Liberators are probably next best, so I wouldn't just discount these, right? If you don't have a base hitting fleet, this is certainly worth getting.
true.
If you don't have a tier 6 base hitting fleet, this is worth getting.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, and a lot of the things that we saw earlier as far as the changes that they're going to make to the game probably in the next update that we'll see in the preview tomorrow don't appear that they would impact the Liberator in any negative way. So yeah, it may see a definite resurgence if the Muddle Glut and the Pride are sort of toned down with these changes, because I don't see how they're going to, based on what we've seen, how they're going to give us a counter to the Muddle Gluts without impacting the Pride in some way, since they both have types. So, and the infamous Hyena and the SSKP enhancement also coming out. Hyena is a wonderful little base missile. Does huge amount of damage over deflection on most ships that would attack your base. And we've gone through historically some of the older shows, different possible builds for it, whether you're going to use it on your main island or as like a island, front island type of thing. And the beautiful part about the SSKP is if you spot a sub anywhere, this will allow any missile that you may put on your turrets to hit a submerged sub.
Yep.
Because of the retargetable true.
Yep, that's a real important special.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would if you can't get all the way through it, even though if you're able to get through this, doing well at all in this raid cycle, and you got Muddle Gluts, I think you're just going to walk through it.
Yeah, Muddle Gluts definitely kill the bases. And yeah, these are these are targets we've seen before, and even Citadel Punishers can do them.
Yeah, the first time I did this, the first time I ran through Homeland, I was using Citadel Punishers, and now I got monos and icebreakers, and yeah, the icebreakers just easily just ruin it.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't try.
You're just going to run up. Well, I haven't done it this time, but I think this is the third time we've seen Homeland.
So yeah, I ran it through. I think you're right. This is the third time because I've only used tokens to build Liberators. And yeah, I used monos this time, and I'm taking my own advice. I'm going to pick up those tokens and hang on to them.
Okay. Save them for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and let's move on. The Phoenix. So we now learn what we speculated on last week. The Phoenix is the new assault class raid hall to sort of replace the Apollo. This appears to be Reaver in design and appears to have some sort of hand reaching out of the middle of it. But It has the built-in point defense system, which confused us before, but it's a anti-drone technology assaults for worry-free cleanup of drones and July's assault targets.
Yeah, it's great if those drones only have 1,000 health.
Okay. And stacking aura gains offensive, defensive bonuses as you stack more of these hulls together. I don't know if it has a range or if it's something like you see with the Pride, or do they all have to be within X range of each other?
Well, I think it might, not like the Pride, right? The Pride, you want to spread them out. It's like the Icebreaker, right? Or the Cannoneer, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, sometimes they're a little loose with the language. I mean, if you don't, the Cannoneer, you stack them, but if you just, like, if the Prides, if you just have them in the hull, you're also getting one type of bonus. If you have the hull available, I guess stack, so the Cannoneer would be a better comparison. And it's a little ballerina. It's very agile. So. Yeah. And we expect to see this with a new special that we don't know anything about yet, and a new weapon, a missile.
Right. Stay tuned. I'm sure we'll find out in a week.
Yeah. Justice. Thorns, a special build. This is the tier 6 defender that we've been talking about earlier, and will also be a raid prize. Thorns, a special ability that deals damage back to the attacker for any hits against it. So that's going to be interesting, and this will be in the preview. Stacking multiple justices will improve the effectiveness of this ability, as well as thorn duration, while reducing the cooldown between thorn activations. So this sounds like a damage over time. And again, we don't know if stacking means putting more than one hull in a fleet, or actually they have to be within some proximity of each other.
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? Because now, what, you want to replace, they're going to try and get you to replace your whole guard fleet with 5 justices? I think that.
Well, I don't think I'm going to go with 5, because this is a ballistic.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? You can't. Stacking up an attacker is fine. You want to build a 5 fleet, but stacking a defender, it's kind of a pain.
Yeah, and it's we'll talk about the weapon and the special that goes with it. But I can see the fact that they probably, because the weakest thing that as far as our turrets are concerned, our base turrets, is radioactive damage. There's none of them that actually do any significant amount of damage at this point in time. But probably second on that list would be the ballistic. Do you think, or what do you think would be our next weakest?
Yeah.
Well, we did get the new special. Not the new special. We did get the new weapon last week before last. We got the new
the ballistic turret special. Yeah.
And the ballistic turret.
Yeah, I don't
which
know.
I never got because I thought I was moving and I thought I had another day to do it.
Well, explosive.
And I logged in.
Oh, that's a nice special. Explosive turrets aren't too good right now. I mean,
well, the D100S and the Cat. Yeah. I mean,
the new generation of base hitters are too fast for the Cat mortar.
Well, it's still nice to have them with the sloths out there, if the sloths ever, because the sloths never really had a day because of the motor glut.
Yeah, well, I never liked the sloth anyway. Yeah. I just never. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, and let's move on to the penance cannon.
The Pence cannon,
accuracy-based ballistic. Yes. Yes. The Penance cannon. It's quite fearsome looking, and it's got a little bit of a an S&M look to it with the chains on it.
Maybe it's not the Pence cannon after all. Pence would not approve.
Yeah. But yes, the Penance cannon is out there. And it's nice that they tell us, and I would love it if they included that in the actual blueprint and all future blueprints, to let us know if something is accuracy based versus a dumbfire weapon.
Yeah,
because sometimes they're difficult to figure out, and it has a big impact in the game as far as
how you want to build.
Yeah, and if you want to build, because the Deadeye Ballista was, I think it was always disappointing to people, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess it has a slowing effect, and stacking hits increases the slowing effect, and best paired with the Justice for base defense. So we don't have any stats or anything fun like that for it, but
I'm sure it's going to go pew, pew, pew.
Yep, I'm sure it's going to do that. And anything else on this? And I guess
I'm just wondering if it'll work with Survivor.
Well, it's probably going to be. My guess it would be loaded up on the ship damage side.
Oh yeah, it might have a big minus multiplier for the wall and building damage.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure how well it would work in that arena. Yeah, we don't know yet, but we can only guess. Let's see what's next. The ABBA, the Augmented Ballistic Armament, not to be confused with the disco band.
Swedish disco band.
Swedish disco band, yes. So, those are the only type of disco bands that Larry likes.
There are no types of disco bands that I like.
Yes. Oh, well. And it appears increases range and accuracy. So sort of like, is there another one that increased accuracy, like one of those cannon systems? I can't remember a special that we had that
nuclear
did both.
Accelerator. There's range and accuracy and speed.
Oh, and speed. Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's how they're gonna do it, so people don't replace their nuclear accelerator, so they can make this more powerful. That you might be losing that speed boost. I don't know.
Yeah, well, on a Justice, right? On a Defender hull, you're not going to care because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll have to think hard if you want to use it on a open water ship.
Yeah, and we don't know any stats on this one, so this might be our last slide. Yep.
Okay. I didn't get a chance to say it. I guess I should have said it when we were talking about Forsaken mission. This is the last Forsaken mission before the raid. So if you think you're going to be getting the Phoenix, if you're one of those players who can get the points to get the Phoenix in the next raid, you're really going to want to save your Forsaken mission tokens so you can get as many of those Phoenix hulls out as possible. Especially because they have stacking aura. So you want 5.
Or at least
you really
4.
want as many as possible. Well,
4 in a flagship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we know there's going to be a flagship, so
What ship?
Yep. It had an L in it.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and Wilbur 12 again thinks the current new prizes also are fitting the trend. I don't see it as much. I can see a little bit on some of these, but he thinks the trend is continued, that the new stuff looks like sex toys. I don't see it with the Phoenix.
That looks like does not look like a sex toy I would want any part of.
Yeah.
Or that I would want my special lady to have any part of.
Justice? No, not seeing it there either.
Well, you could make the argument.
Yeah. Well, wait.
Now, the penetrator cannon, I mean, the penance cannon? The Pence cannon?
Well, yeah. Well, maybe that the whips and chains part of this one, and some of that might be.
And it's longer than it is wide. I mean, fundamentally.
It's fun. I sort of thought this at one point. I forget the name of that toy. What is that? It's not for the ladies. Well.
Oh. Okay, this one's definitely a toy.
Yeah. We can see it here. And I forget the name of it. Sort of thinking it at one point, but I have, and I can't remember how inappropriate the name was, but
moderately.
Depending on. Okay.
Because if I knew the name, I wouldn't get it.
Okay. You do know the name? One say it. Okay. Yeah, and they're customizable. Certain actresses in that genre, you can get them.
Right.
So,
oh my God.
I'm glad we addressed your points there, Wilbert.
So I got a new beer this week to change the topic. I got Mad Tree Proper Session Ale, which is delightful beer brewed in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Did they import the water from somewhere?
No.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Got the Ohio River.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's Cleveland where the river caught on fire, right?
Yes, that would be Cleveland, and that would be the Lake Erie, right? Oh no, it's the Cuyahoga River. REM did a song.
Yeah. So you get an extra buzz if it's a Cleveland beer,
right?
Yeah. Special buzz. Alrighty. Okay, yeah. Somebody's saying the pocket something. I think it has a different name. What does it start? What letter does it start with, Larry? You can just tell me the letter, and then I'll probably remember what it's called.
Well, let's just say it's really close. It's a flashlight.
Oh yes, the flashlight. There we go. That's what we were looking for.
Yeah. All
there
right.
We go.
Is it warm in here?
Everybody can Google that, and figure out if you think this is.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Figure out if it's the. What year is this supposed to be taking place in? 2400 or whatever? This is or 2210 or I forget what year Battle Pirates is taking place, but this could be the modernized version. Futuristic. Well, do we have anything? We had a quick show.
Quick show.
Yeah. If anything we should add before I start the up to people.
Save your FM tokens is my advice for the week.
We're not that we're getting off the air, but I was going to post it in case anybody else would like to join us and ask questions about the flashlight or anything like that. Larry's more of an expert on this than me, since I couldn't actually remember the name. So feel free.
Oh God.
And let's see. I am going to copy and paste these in chat in case anybody would like to join us. And there we go. All right. No, we don't have any idea of the range on the pennants, but we will tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be in the that should be in the preview server. But yeah, that guess of, with the special and whatnot would probably be in the 105 range. Hey, Brian, did you join us to ask Larry questions about the flashlight?
No.
So typically, if I don't know the answer to something, I Google it, and I Google it in what is it called?
Incognito mode.
Incognito.
Thank you. Yes, that.
Yes.
I'm not going to do that here because I don't actually want to know the answer. So the
Well, wait,
less you
what's your
know.
What's the question, though?
There isn't one. I don't
Yeah,
want
okay.
to know, so I'm not even asking.
Okay. Jeez.
Did you guys talk about the post kind of right after the TV show went dead about how, we look at normal counters or we look at things to bring it back in line. There was some other post. Oh, dang it. I had it up and I deleted it. Let me go back and find it. It was right before the preview for the Justice. They were talking about their methodology. They introduced a new hole and they introduced counters to it, or they make you look at old stuff anyways. Where is it?
Oh, yeah, that went up like 1 a.m. today, right?
Something like
It's
that.
pinned on the forums.
Yeah. Meta shifts from attacker to defender. Eventually, does a turret or defender hole get released in response? Yeah, that one. That I'm a little suspect of that. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, back in the old days, I mean, have new base hitting hulls been released that have been as dominant as the Muddle Glutton? And I can't remember anything quite so dominant. I mean, like
Maybe Pride's initially? Yeah.
No, the Prides, I don't think we're
I think people learned how to stop prides pretty quick.
nearly.
What about the
I'm thinking back to like Hell Strikes.
Hell Strike? That's
Yeah.
like, what, 2 weeks?
I don't know. I mean, when right, people were blitzing through bases pretty good for a while.
Mhm.
But they weren't. I mean, what hull has just smashed bases and bases and bases damage free?
Yeah, it's weird because it's a sub, and that inherently breaks a lot of rules about things. The range on it is a big factor as well. Just the 100 range outranged everything. We'd hope to defend against it. You would just snipe it from 100 range. The corrosive damage, it could get around the walls, which is normally the thing that would, with our only chance was we have the walls. You couldn't fire at it with your normal turret, so it's not like it's a DPS check.
Yeah, and then and it's not really even just that range. It's also the range of the splash and the spread that makes it crazy. If you can find any firing point to, extend your range out to, what do you think the actual range of it is? 170?
Probably. I mean, it depends if you have CS2 on or not. But the thing is, too, it's weird because I looked, and even the Sloth, you can get some ridiculous splash on the Sloth, like about 90 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is with explosive, there's anti-mortars for one. For two, explosive defense is readily available. You slot it in an armor, you put it on a turret special, and here that just wasn't the case.
Well, in the Sloth, you still need a target, a spotter, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it could just do that with impunity.
It's kind of a perfect storm to have something like this happen. I hope their planned defenses work. It's good for me actually because I get to now, if they do make the change, it's a really interesting choice on your outpost. I have like overloaded reload, fire support 2, and mortar crit chance, the second one, the explosion what's it. And I can take out 2 of those now and just make my center island very resilient to explosive and corrosive and keep overloaded. But do I want to do that? Do I want to make him more powerful but vulnerable to a certain damage type? It depends. And that's a really interesting choice, and I think a strong upside that's going to come out of this.
Yeah, I already dropped. I already dropped the mortar critical chance, the fuel air emissions 2, and put in chromium overlay. In my,
I'm doing
my
that
base.
as well.
I don't
It
even
takes
know.
I already
so
did
many
it
points to
now. I think I put that speed reducer on mine.
Yeah, I put the KB one as well.
Yeah.
Is it noticed? Have you noticed any effect from it and anything going on currently in the game?
No. Does it even affect submerged targets?
Well, it should affect the missiles.
Yeah, it's a bigger fast speed.
I've
So
noticed
it's slower to
because I have it in
So
one.
now it feels more like some sort of bad dream sequence.
I have it
Sorry, go ahead.
on one of my front warehouses, and the muddleglyphs usually get in range of it, and I don't see a significant drop in projectile speed.
Weird. Because it is supposed to be 70%. I mean, that should be noticeable.
Yeah,
Where is it?
like right at the
Is it on
front
your
entrance. No, I have one in the outpost and one in the warehouse right in the front entrance. And when they get in the range, it takes them forever to kill warehouse, so they'll usually get into range and target the Harlock Alpha first. But I haven't noticed any different in speed with the missile, so I'm kind of asking if do they even affect submerged targets?
I mean, they should.
Oh. Well,
Yeah, because the one in the center, the one on your outpost acts differently than the ones that you're going to put elsewhere.
right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but if you put it elsewhere, it's range 90, projectile speed minus 70, affects ships.
Yeah, so the ship's got to be within 90.
So, but yeah, you should see the little debuff marker on the ships, right?
Yeah.
But you can't see.
Yes,
If
you
you,
can
can, if you can see them, yeah.
Maybe you need somebody with muddles to attack you and see if they see the marker.
And I would have to take it off the OP as well.
Yeah, because if it's on, you would see it regardless. Because you're getting it, the map wide or the base wide impact of having it on the outpost. So, well,
Should we end the stream?
well, that's what I was asking if anybody else had anything that they.
I think we've
wanted
got
to,
15 minutes. 15 minutes left.
We can do a short show.
I know.
It's cool.
Oh, okay.
No, well, I mean, we do have 15
Makes
minutes.
up, makes up for all the Friday shows.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we went 80 some minutes last show, but yeah, I mean, you were on with GDA last night, and they talked about the Lust is going to come out next. Anything that you noticed that we missed that he brought up that you thought would be interesting to talk about?
Not that I can think of that you guys wouldn't see. I just hope that
something that you didn't get a chance to talk about last night that was brought up as a topic. I'm saying.
I didn't get a chance to talk about. Well, I don't have many thoughts on PvP. Other people think better about it than I do, so I.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I guess we can end the stream early if Leonard, we talked a little bit about the bounty hunt last week, and I don't know that did he give us really any additional details on that besides because it seemed like okay, it might be 2 days long, it might be 6 days long. I don't remember anything concrete that was brought up.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of concrete info on that yet at all.
Yeah, we don't even know when it starts, do we? Like, is this going to happen in a month or is it going to happen in 2 weeks? We don't have that kind of information either.
No,
bounty hunt, no.
nothing definite.
No.
Okay. But yeah, it'll be interesting. The big thing that I took out of that was just joining the participation badge should be significant. You know, just signing up and
Being willing.
getting your clock. Yeah, just willing to get your clock cleaned will get you some sort of significant prize. So that might be, worth it to people or not.
Yeah.
I remember the thing that was significant is during the bounty hunt, you're going to have two different repair docks for your conquerors and the one for your PvE halls. That was significant, and that now I recall. That was my favorite part about it.
Yeah, and then he said that, but we're taking it away.
Well, yeah, it'll only be active during the bounty hunt at this point, and then it'll go away, but then it'll show back up. And now that we know that this mechanism hopefully works in the game, it'll be interesting to see if they move that forward, and incorporate it into the rest of the game and allow people to repair their conqueror ships separately, and maybe their defender as well. Not have the conqueror and defender repairs interfere with anything going on in the PvE world. So,
my biggest question is, where are they expecting you to coin your base? Like every time you get hit when the bubbles dropped?
I mean, they're hoping. My question is, how long ahead of time are they going to announce this? Because if you know that in a week it's going to be a big old hit fest and you want to get in on that, you might prioritize building or refitting your PvP ships over your PvE. Whereas if you don't know, well, you're going to build a big long ship for PvE and then hope to not get screwed at depending on which Tuesday it comes out on.
Yeah. Or if you wanted to jump to Brian's sector right before it started.
What is gonna keep this from flopping like the FATs?
I don't know. I really don't.
So they want you to do your baser hitter and your air base basically is what I'm foreseeing.
Well, there's players that like to hit bases anyway, right? So they're just going to do this.
Yeah, but then they're going to give out tech, and then everything's going to be geared around the tech that they give out that only a couple players have. And so then they're going to they do it every time.
See reference history.
Yeah.
So if people are going to fall farther behind in TLCs because now they're going to build the TLCs that have the conquering stuff around what they're offering in these limited events that people might or might not participate in. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I think they should just give tokens away, like conquering tokens or something, repair tokens, stuff like that.
Conqueror build tokens, if nothing else, I think would be a great prize. Depending on, I don't hit bases, but depending on what the low end prize is, I might jump in and get punched a few times and just sit near the bottom and collect my prize. I'm happy. Maybe. Hello, bird.
Hey, here's a little question here. You guys showed with the new defense coming out, it's like they just give out the Harlock's Alpha, and now they're going to tease us with another new defense. Do we mix and match, or is it going to be an all 5-time fleet?
I mean, you run both. I don't think you're really never supposed to run 5 of any given conqueror or 5 of any given defender, although liberators and prides tend to do really well in that instance, or 4 prides and a survivor now, I guess. I don't really like when they keep saying how diverse it is and how there's tools in a toolbox and you use this and that and they have different deflections. So clearly some are good for certain situations and some are good for others. But then they also give stacking bonuses as well. I I think the Pride it was sort of okay because that was the first Tier 6 Conqueror hull we had for a while, so that's all we had. But now it's a little weird, and it's kind of pulling you in two different directions, and it just doesn't make sense. Not
Well,
really.
yeah, because unless you're a math major like you, most people are going to, they're not going to be sitting down and being able to figure out that, okay, if I do this, I get this, and they're just going to be lost.
I mean, I'm sure one Justice would do well. I'm still a little concerned, and this is another point actually. The super high deflection and splash damage resistance on a lot of the Defender hulls, combined with the lack of corrosive defense. I mean, now that's going to change, but what was the lack of corrosive defense on anything else meant that a guard ship that was basically immune to mudgluts was a liability because you're basically get splashed from, 100 range away. And even though the building damage base was a quarter of the normal damage, it didn't matter. Your ship was 9 vulnerable, but your turrets would still death by 1,000 cuts of mudgluts.
Well,
Death by 1,000 gluts.
and I find that their fix to it is not necessarily a great fix because I don't necessarily know that. Maybe in certain parts of the base, but just the way I've seen the mudgluts hit, you kind of want to force them into a bubble. Like that's like the only way to really beat them is to make them like one hit you. Only time people have really been successful is when they've come in, prepped out part of my guard ships up front, and then come back in. So if you put those overlays at the front, you're going to end up messing your bubble pad up.
Yeah, I do kind of like the idea of having a base so tanky that the defender has to make certain decisions, especially with surface and dive times of subs. Hopefully they will put your sonar so that it'll actually extend through a 2-tile wide channel, but that's beside the point. Yeah, a little salty about that. Turret hitbox, out from turret, down onto the water, 2 tiles wide, should see them all. But yeah, you got to kill the warehouses and you got to kill the turrets with the sonar to have a safe rush in, but you've also got to be able to get in and hit the center before you time out. But you also have to balance that with driving out, surfacing, and driving back in, and it's not easy on the driver either. But I think that's something that should be expected when you could just do a base for free.
Well,
if you do it well.
With this counter too that they're putting in, I mean, so are mudgluts going to be even a viable option going forward? Because if they're not good at killing guards out, and then you turn it to where they can't kill buildings out, is this going to be another fleet that this is 1 month wreck everything, and now a month from now nothing, it won't be able to do anything?
Well,
Go ahead.
I still think you're going to have to be a top end player to defend mudgluts, right? You still need some decent ships. You still need something that can kill them underwater. So I think the little guys are going to be vulnerable to those mudgluts for a long, long time.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really see that most base hitters are hitting smaller bases like that. People like challenges,
Yeah.
They like medals and they like challenges.
Well, the Monday people, the ones that are the ones that, when Larry goes out on Mondays and hits all the 52s with his mudgluts,
Oh, this is that super secret Ferox's Fury nerf that like 3 people have been wanting.
What are you talking
We
about?
got there. Ferox's Fury, the flagship that had a 24,000 corrosive DPS like field.
Yeah. I was wondering why that. It just seemed to make more sense, like we brought up earlier, to in some way constrain the damage of the mudglut, as opposed to giving us defenses that are going to have impacts on the Pride and the Fury and all the other things.
Yeah, a common solution that I think a lot of I saw proposed for the mudglut was to just reduce its splash range for the muddle missile. Go from like 30 to 10 or whatever. Just
not have 2 different spreads.
Yeah, just so it doesn't splash this gigantic area.
It's not just a splash; it's the spread that really is.
Yeah, the MRFs spread out. Yeah.
I saw something that basically from where the guy shot from to where it killed in my line. Somebody posted up a base planner. It was 11 tiles.
Yeah.
That it was doing some type of damage.
Yeah, from where the ship was actually shooting at. So you basically had to spot it at,
200. Not gonna happen.
I haphazardly placed my buildings around the outside. I didn't care where they were. And then I saw some guy come in with mud guts and like splashed my intelligence lab on the corner or whatever. And it got to my shipyard that was like right by my head. I'm like, oh crap. I gotta fix that now. Chromium overlay not in the FM. So hopefully they'll put it in like tier 4, start of next rotation maybe, after June event.
Yeah, they need to give it out.
I hope they put it in the raid.
Like, give it out.
Well, how did they originally give it out? Was it a TLC?
It was in the Forsaken mission.
Yeah, I think FM. Right.
It was.
I like Doom said that in his post. He said that we would like to get that tech if we can. Like, come on, man. If you want to do something,
you literally have full control over this. You can give everyone who logs in the Chromium overlay, as soon as you could figure out how to do that properly. Because
why even put that little statement in there?
that was not even. That was just dumb.
Yeah, because he could put it. He could put it in the 40 salvages, and just have us, hit the 40 salvages with the lucky bastard, and boom, you got it if you really wanted to.
But BRB rolling cruise. That would be kind of dumb.
Well,
I actually
well,
think
at least it would use.
I think another interesting thing I don't know we talked about, like gluttonies were basically free to build. I don't have armor on mine, and they took 8 days, and I had 7 tokens from completing that campaign just the once. But yeah, that's 42 days off of, just takes 2 days to build one, and you use tokens to build the other 3, and you've got your flagship up front. That might have contributed if a lot of people have them, and it's cheap and free.
Yeah. I mean, it's been the easiest one to really build recently. I mean, I guess the Liberator, if you're able to keep on completing that and keep on getting the 6-day tokens, because at this point you can get 5, and this is the 3rd time it's run through.
Yeah.
So
the pressers too.
Yeah, nobody wants to do pressers though. But you could have 90 days of Liberators.
It's got 7,000 corrosive deflection. Mud gluts.
Mm-hmm.
Put hydrodynamic shells on there, troll the crap out of them, would be great.
If you can spot them from 200 away and still have enough remote targeting range.
UTT sonar, the dream. I don't think they actually tested UTT sonar because that was another thing. Yeah, that was supposed to be one of our counters to it. Was that sonar turret, and everybody understood what it was supposed to do when it was released. Like, oh yeah, it's for gluttony, but it didn't actually work for its intended purpose.
Well, it worked when it was released because at that point, there really, people were putting missiles and counters on them. I mean, not missiles, torpedoes and counters on them. We didn't realize that there was going to be something that could, something like this when the UTD was released.
Yeah, I mean, when it came out, people were racing in and prepping out guard fleets with them, and that was a fair use, right? That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were prep fleet, but nope, I was wrong.
All this leads to one of my biggest issues in the game right now is the mines, the scourge grids. Okay. I took one shot onto my cannoneer from a ballistic because I came in at a slightly wrong angle, and one shot from a ballistic gave me 2.5 hours of damage on my cannoneer. And if you lose one cannoneer, you don't have enough speed or enough firepower to get around the 99. So you're basically done. So I hit about 199 if I could find them, which spawn rates are pretty fucking poor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now we're having all this tech released, and it's like 14 days plus, like to change, transformers out and everything. And I find myself, I'm just in a standstill in the base now because I don't want to start a 14-day build if I can go out and get base parts. But then I can't ever seem to acquire base parts fast enough because the damage is too punitive. And it really goes back to the point where they said that they were going to tone the damage down from the raids because of the not having the halftime. And in fact, they've actually raised the damage up probably 10 times the amount.
Oh yeah, that's complete bullshit.
And the speed that they pop up too.
I don't know that they're raised from the raids. I mean, the
Maybe
raids
they
did a
are.
lot of damage.
Yeah, but I could do the entire raid set without taking hits. They pop up faster now, and they shoot faster.
Yeah, the 103s. The turrets shoot right as they get out of the water.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't do the 103s, definitely.
I do the 103s if I have somewhere to go, because then my ship is dead, and it's like 3 hours. And it's, okay, fine.
The 99 I found was actually an enjoyable target during the raid. It's absolutely fucking like terrifying now, like because everything is like, and I have speed upgrades on mine where most people don't. And so if I can't even imagine somebody doing that without the speed upgrades, because I'm barely getting to the turrets in time, the long range ballistas where they're firing.
Give me your build. I will maybe help, because I can do 99s for free like all day. If I make a mistake and I get shot, it's like an hour's worth of damage on one of my cannoneers. But I have like D1Cs, so it's supposed to not be so bad.
Well,
it's bad enough.
I've ran into problems in the 99 sometimes where, like, all of a sudden you lose control of the fleet, and it just sits there, and you just watch it. You just watch it take the damage.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
More reason why these devs need to start testing on the live game. Like, get out on Facebook and play the game that we play, and see what we do, and keep track of the coins that you spend.
Yeah, but
I like to equate that to Chinese food.
Yeah, but that goes into the fact of, they know the game is buggy. Then why make all the PvE halls so much repair time?
And so precise is the thing.
Yeah.
In the Scourge raid, I actually felt, compared to the Hellwraith raid, that there was a little bit more give. I didn't feel, oh, that was cheap, I just turned like a half a degree wrong and now I'm dead.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. I actually kind of enjoyed those targets, but that's kind of the thing. It seems like every time there's a target that I do like in the game now, they change it to where it becomes a very stressful thing or a very grindy thing, or and it just completely takes the fun out of it. And I decided to not participate in that part of the game anymore.
Have you tried You've tried a 113? Yeah.
The FM.
Yeah.
I haven't even got to it yet. I hit them in the campaigns, the Call of Arms campaigns.
No, the 113, the one that's been around since last week.
I didn't hit them.
The 109s.
No.
No.
Hit the 102s.
Okay.
I'll figure I hit them this week. I've had to use my garrison fleets for all those campaigns the entire time. So
it's a little, even though like I've seen my ships do it 5 or 6 times, it's still scary to run the fleet down that row of rockets, because if anything goes wrong, your fleet's dead and you've got a 10-hour repair. Like this is the FM. We do this 7 times a week. I shouldn't have my heart stop 7 times a week while I'm playing this game.
I was saying that earlier.
It takes the fun out of it.
It's happened to me, Brian. Same thing.
Oh no.
Can you not target from the inside part?
I was saying this.
And that's what I do, but they could change that. I'm hoping they don't, but they could.
Right, they'll change the one thing that makes it to turn it into a thing that makes you not want to do it anymore.
Well, the thing is, the chore targets, all the chore targets, I don't think they should change them. I mean, things like that are expected inside raids, where it's kind of like 1 month thing, where it's kind of special deal. But when you put make the raid targets into the chore targets, I don't. It just makes it.
It's like the raid never stops.
Yeah, it's like the raid never stops, and the raid should be like a special time where you're trying to do something to get special prizes, right?
So again, people hated the FAT because eventually it became another fucking raid, you know, and they just weren't going to spend on it. And this is, I have a feeling this is going to be one of the worst decisions they end up making if they don't do this right.
Oh, it's Bounty Hunt?
What's the FAT?
That Forsaken Arena tournament back.
Oh, I wasn't around for that.
It basically turned it. It was fun. It was fun the first few times, whatever, and then they turned it into a straight coiner match. Whoever fought the most, whoever coined the most battles, ended up winning. Got all the top tech, and so people fell behind in all those prizes, you know.
Yeah,
and then it flopped.
Yeah, you were putting a prize pool, you know, with like 250 players, and so then the top 5, you know, the top 1 got a certain prize, top 2. Next prize, you know, so on and so forth.
We just don't need any more avenues for new tech.
Yeah. So it became a real coin competition at the top, right?
And a time consumer. If you didn't spend all day on it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the big problem was they were giving away significant technology when they were doing it. When they first started doing it and when people started to go south on it and did not like it. Until eventually they gave less significant prizes, and that sort of calmed down the community where they were giving away skins and things that didn't really impact gameplay significantly. So, you know, it seems like from what they said that, you know, they want to give away significant prizes here, and that's
I don't believe them.
You don't believe that they're going to do that, or that they should do that?
They might do it at the first time or two, and then they'll look at their net profits is this, that, and they'll try to end up forcing people into coining more by getting the top prize or whatever. That's how they've done it every single thing.
Okay. Well, unless anybody has anything real quick, should we go ahead and end the live stream? And I've already posted the link in case anybody would like to join us for the off-air after show, where, you know, we will discuss the where best to buy your fleshlight and you know, whatever else you would like to hear about.
Just don't buy your flashlight from the Ohio River.
Okay.
Amazon.
Amazon? Right. Okay, they have a good discount this week.
If you're Prime, you get it in 2 days.
Oh, Amazon Prime, yeah. Yep. You know, they're one of our sponsors. So, okay.
There you go.
All right, everybody. have a pleasant week.